Okay, we'll do 2-point perspective now. Where 1-point perspective had everything going away from you, adhering to one point on the horizon and following the star or the guide, there are now 2 points on the horizon and lines get stretched to one or the other. So with 1-point perspective, they were lines like this, plus vertical lines plus horizontal lines. With 2-point perspective, it is following the lines on each side and it's only vertical lines. There's no horizontal lines. Okay, so let's get 2 sets of guides in here for 2-point perspective. So I'm going to use this polygon tool, and don't forget with the polygon tool, give yourself plenty of sides, make sure that you're indenting the sides by quite a lot, which means that the point is here, then when it's indented it's in, then it's out again, and you get that real star in there with hardly any center. So something like that. Okay, so click and drag for one side, and then up here you can muck around with the fill. Okay, this one's all right there. Now I'm going to line up the other polygon the other side, and before I let go, or before I deselect, I'm going to make it a different color. Alright, so I now have 2 of those sitting in there. Guide this side, a guide this side, that's the horizon, and then I've got them in different colors so that different lines can adhere to each of these guides. Okay, so what shall I do here? Polygon 1, polygon 1, polygon 2, there you go. Alright, so I might just add a layer here called drawing. Alright, so let's try this now. So you only do vertical lines now. So let's do one vertical line. This is going to be the corner of a building. Alright, now the other lines you do here, the lines that go away from the viewer to the right follow these lines. The lines that go away from the viewer to the left follow these lines. So this wall on this side would follow this line here. Okay, this line that goes away from us this side follows these lines here. Okay, and everything else is vertical. Same with this side. If this wall is going away from us this side, then it follows these lines here. This wall, these lines here, and the rest is vertical. So that is a building in 2-point perspective. Just like we did last time, let's do some windows on there. Okay. Because this is going away from us to the right, we're following the red one. Okay. And then those parallel lines can be sitting in there. Now, because this line is below our view and this line is above our view, we will still see even a tiny bit of that window. You really will see a tiny bit, so without getting in there much, we don't need to see much of it, but that would be really, the line's fairly thick here, but that would be really tucked up and really close, a lot closer than this. So that would be much wider than that, but I'll just give you an indication of it now. Okay, and this of course would follow the red line, but it would be something like that. Let's do a window down here, or let's do a door. So a door here, a door here, and the line, because it's, let's do this, I'll do it over here a little bit. So a door would be something like that, and the top of the door, because it's going away from us, would adhere to the grid on this side. You could even do more lines in here if you wanted to, but it disappears to this vanishing point, and then the rest is vertical. Okay, so that is a door, and that is a window that side. Okay, so let's do, say, the street corner or something like that. It's going away from us over here, so it would be a line there. And this going away from us here would be something like that. So that would be the street corner. The line down below here, say the pavement edge or the thickness, would be vertical. And then this would disappear like that. It's going away from us on the left. It would be something like that. Okay, so we're starting to get a 2-point perspective here. Now, what I was showing you before, let's get some guides in here. What I was showing you before, in fact, I'll do this in another tutorial afterwards where I'm talking about organic shapes and shadows. Okay, so let's do an edge to this here. So we'll do this here and this here. Okay, and a road over here would be somewhere there. Okay, so now the reason this is really distorted and really pushing the boundaries here for 2-point perspective, that these should really be as far over as you can make them, because that then gives you a much more realistic view of something using 2-point perspective. But we're just using a really sort of squashed area here just to show you how this works. Okay, so if you wanted a guide for the center of the road or something here, you'd do something like that. Okay. All right, so say that's a road going round a building, that's a corner, this is how it would behave. So let's also maybe do these poles that we had before. Let's do that one, let's do one, say there. And just remember what we did before, the center of each, and our center would probably be there. Okay, the center of each, let's call this line the center. Don't forget it's a line from here. Well, let's do our guides. All right, on our guides, it's the center, it's the top of this one through the center of the next one to give you where the next pole is. So in guides, there, through there to there, and then that gives us our next pole. Okay, so here, through the center, alright, so that gives us an idea of where to do some of this stuff. Okay, so I'll do, say, 4 there. Let's get those guides underneath. So that when we're doing poles like this, that's where they're sitting. So I might just do a little thickness here, just to give us an idea. And the thickness would just get, of course, smaller and smaller. Okay, let's do something like that. Alright, there you go. Anyway, something like that. Right, which means when we're doing the tops of these next, with 1-point perspective, you made sure they were horizontal and vertical. But if you're doing the tops of poles like this, in 2-point perspective, you're now, if it's going away from you on the left, you're now following the other one. Okay? So that's how they would look. Alright, so they're actually sloped the other way. Okay? So that's how that's looking. Alright. Alright. So same with down here. So if we do, let's do a path here. So that would be a path or something. All right, and the lines on the actual pavement would be something like this. It would follow the red. All right, so it'd go and follow that. So really what I should have done is extended these right across, of course. All right, so these are following that red one. So you can see that normally you probably just make them a lot bigger and extend right across. All right, so you get the general idea. So you'd be looking at something like that. Okay, what else can we do here? Let's have a look at, well, vertical lines. Okay. You can do stuff like that. Okay. So, vertical lines are the only lines that don't follow to either one side or the other here. When you're doing this, of course, we can use that same technique we did from the top through the center. You could do that here as well, from the top through the center to the next one, and do that, because this is quite out because I didn't really measure it. And every line apart from up and down follows either one side or the other. Okay, let's get our horizon in. Might just, oh yeah, I'll just go on through. That's actually our horizon there. All right. So what I'll do in another tute is we'll talk about organics and shadows, but that's basically it for 2-point perspective. Okay, up and down, or you go to each side. All right, so next tutorial we'll do a circular window. We might try a puddle in perspective like this, and I'll add some clouds as well.